Hey, everybody. We're here at Disruption Network for episode number 2 of Untamed, a podcast about all the things metaphysical, spiritual awakenings, yoga, all sorts of stuff. We're going to talk about astrology. Yeah, so I'm here with Deana, and yeah, this is our second episode.
Already,
I know. So yeah, we're going to have an episode next week too. So this will be tonight, and then we'll have one again next week, which will be right before the eclipse. So we're going to talk a lot about the eclipse portal. So if you haven't been following a lot of our content, we've been talking a lot about the eclipses. So we're right in between a lunar and a solar eclipse.
Yeah.
Right, Dee?
Yeah. The new moon was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe 1 week ago. I don't remember.
Yeah.
What day is it? Yeah, May 5th will be the lunar eclipse. It'll be in the sign of Scorpio. They call that the flower moon.
Yeah.
And we won't be able to see it where we are, but we'll get to see one in October.
Yeah.
When they come back.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about the astrology. We're going to talk about erotic astrology tonight. We have some books we're going to go over with you guys that we wanted to talk about. We'll highlight some crystals that we've been using to really ground in our energy. I don't know about you, but right now, I mean, there's like a million things happening around me at the moment, and I can feel a transition phase happening in my life, and it's been really like interesting to watch it from an awareness, a higher perspective, to kind of look overarching, like what kind of things are happening in my life, you know, and so yeah, we're going to talk about our sponsors. Good, Z. Let's kick this off. So Alabaster and Ash is one of our sponsors, and they are a modern metaphysical store. They're in Remsen, and they are in it's a holistic boutique. They have sage, crystals. I got so much cool stuff there when I went last time. I got clothes there. I was actually going to wear the shawl that I got there, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have lots of events, and we actually posted all of the events that they have on our on Deana's website.
Yep, on allthethingsd.com. Mm-hmm. So you can find them there, and then we usually try to share them in the Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
Whenever something new pops up.
So our plan with the podcast is over the summer, we're just going to travel around to different places, take different classes, check out different types of metaphysical energy work, stores, festivals, things like that. So we'll definitely be up at Alabaster and Ash. We've been trying to go live periodically from some of these events too, so you can get an idea of, you know, what's the facility look like? What are some of the benefits of attending some of these things? And we're going to talk about a breathwork class too that we took at Roots Yoga.
Yes, it was amazing. That was just Sunday. Mm-hmm. Sally Davidson, she came and she did a breathwork class, which was, it was intense. It took you on a journey. You might have purged a little bit. It was just, and everybody there were just such energetic, powerful beings to begin with, mm-hmm. that it was a very powerful class that day. And I know that she'll be coming back. They haven't scheduled yet, but we'll definitely let you know so that you can sign up.
Yeah, it was really it was such a simple practice. You know, she had us lay down. We started the breathing. You know, let's actually, do you want to talk about another one of our sponsors first before we dive into some of that?
Yeah. Okay. You saw the commercial already. That's Magic Mountain Minerals, or on Instagram, it's Herkimer Diamond Miner. He owns some land down in the valley and mines his own Herkimer diamonds, and then he creates beautiful pieces with that. In fact, I'm wearing the one that I bought for my daughter today. She's an October birthday, so this one has actually an opal in it. He does procure a lot of opals too. So there's an opal in this one, and then there's a Herkimer diamond in there as well. And it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So definitely follow him so you can see his new creations, what he might still have, you know, that he's made in the past.
His stuff sells really fast.
I mean,
I see that he puts like a piece out, and before you know it, it shows that it's sold already.
It's really cool when he does a reel too, and you can watch him create.
I love that he goes out and finds the actual, you know, pieces to put in his jewelry too. It just feels, and it's so close to have Herkimer Diamond Mine here. You know, I picked up mine, actually this one that I have too is a Moldavite, and it has a Herkimer diamond in it, but I got it in Sedona.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, but it's so close to home. So we're so lucky to have such a cool, you know, area.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how magical and how celebrated they are everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was surprised. I didn't think much of it when I first heard about them, but
yeah, it's really cool. So you had a procedure yesterday too, right?
Yesterday?
Or was it yesterday?
Oh, yes, I did. From one of our other sponsors.
Yeah.
You might have caught the video that I posted up in the group. That was at Renovation Aesthetics and Wellness. And they did some filler under my eyes. So I'm looking a little bit younger today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they do so many things. If you're not vain, like I might be some days, they do infusion treatments, weight loss. They have a laser now. They do hair removal, tattoo removal. They have a whole skincare line. I picked up some eye cream while I was there. It's just they're just great. Andrea's a nurse practitioner. She's a nurse anesthetist, so she knows her way around needles very well. I trust her completely. And it's basically, I just walk in, tell them what I need, and they tell me what I'm getting. That's kind of how it goes, but they're a lot of fun. You got to check them out.
Yeah, she was really thorough in the video that she did, walking you through all of what she was doing and making you feel really relaxed. And it seemed like you were just kind of hanging out.
I've been going there for a few years. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. So. All right, so we covered our sponsors at this point, but I'm sure we'll talk about them more as we go on too, to highlight some of the things that we're doing. So, okay, do you want to talk a little bit? Let's talk about the astrology. Let's just go over it. So we're in the eclipse portal right now. So we're in between two eclipses. So during this time, you can find yourself, in situations where you can see like karmic changes happening in your life. Some things will be initiated. Things may be falling away in your life. And you can just see that you're kind of in a transition. And some of the things that might be coming up right now, you won't necessarily see in your life until you'll see the outcome of them over time. So I personally journal every day, pretty much. And I've been doing that probably for like 4 or 5 years. Consistently. And it's interesting to go back and look at other astrological events that are linked to the current events to see the themes in your life and how they're kind of stringing this thread through all of these different types of, transits that are happening and then your own personal natal chart. And I can't stress enough that, going out and looking at your chart is it's enlightening because, we think about our sun sign, but I'm always pushing the moon sign, what your rising sign is, what your Mars and Venus, and we're going to talk about a little bit about that. But it's so cool to look at the degree that your planets are in too, because when the degree of the eclipse or different types of the planets are in that degree, it's activating a degree in your natal chart. So when you start to really dive into what degree it's at, so I know I have some major things happening right now, and but it's cool to know, so I know how to work with the energy instead of fighting against some of the difficult things that are happening, the challenges that are happening in my life. I'm looking at them from more of a higher perspective, and I'm able to just lean into some of those obstacles instead of resisting. Because I know in my personal life, if I'm resisting, then, I'm suffering. If I'm not resisting, then I'm in a more of a flow state, and I'm able to ease into things a little bit easier. And we have so many practices that make it easier to do.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Pretty much the planets are going to dictate what's happening. So either lean into it or it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. And it's all so different and it's so unique to you. And it's such an interesting way to start to work with the energy. Like I said, so Mercury is also in retrograde right now, and Mercury is in retrograde in Taurus, which is actually probably a really good thing, to be honest with you, because Taurus is very grounding, very stable, very luxurious, wants you to just kind of ease in, cozy up with a blanket, get some really nice food, and just, pamper yourself. And having it going retrograde right now we're going back over old material. So you may see things and themes coming back up in your life, during this time that you can reassess, reevaluate, maybe look at something a little bit differently, this time around. So you will see certain themes, coming back in your own life. I watch a lot of the predictive astrology too, and it's really interesting to look at how it's impacting the collective. And how, some of these themes are playing out in, social, political type arenas in the collective.
Absolutely. And then we have Pluto's going retrograde on May 1st, which is another big transformational, generational type of a change. And that's the planet of light and dark. Mm-hmm. It's the underworld. So again, the themes of all of this, of the full moon eclipse, the Mercury retrograde, the Pluto retrograde, the fact that the full moon is going to be in Scorpio, everything is transformational. Everything is go inside, do your shadow work, see what you need to release, and just sit with yourself. Just for once, just, don't take action and just see how it unfolds.
Yeah. So Pluto in moving into Aquarius is like a really big transit. So the thing about it is it's in what, 0 degrees, and it's also in 29. So it's retrograding back into Capricorn right now. So we're going to see this kind of back into Capricorn, into Aquarius for a while, until I think October of 2024, until it finally goes into Aquarius for good. And so you're going to see this back and forth between earth and air, right? So,
Yep.
and so we're talking about, these old structures, these old foundations. I mean, we're seeing things in the financial world and certain types of things in the world that are starting to fall apart. And we'll see new stuff coming in, AI with Aquarius. So it is the age of Aquarius. We're moving into this more airy, new ideas and innovation. So that's going to be happening, but we're going to go back. We're going to try to go back to Capricorn. We're going to try that earthy structural stuff, and then we're going to push forward again. And it's going to be this back and forth motion. So if you can just kind of prepare yourself for that. And I mean, I don't watch a lot of mainstream media, but I do keep an eye on it because I'm curious about what's happening, like who's in the news. You're seeing a lot of this happening, but it helps me just relax and not go into fear-based, I don't have to, be nervous about all the things that are happening in the world all the time,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what else I had written down? So Mercury, let's see. So Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, that happens on Monday. And then the full moon in Scorpio is May 5th. And so you're having an event.
Yes, Friday at Roots, 6 p.m. We'll do the full moon circle, and like I mentioned, it's in Scorpio. We're transforming. I've got a shadow work meditation written for it, and we're going to do some other things to kind of get your emotional, internal feelings kind of ready to be released.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
So shadow work, people seem to shy away from it. Like, what's in your shadow, and how do you do shadow work? And what does it mean to, it's befriending those parts of you that maybe you're ashamed of, or that you haven't been able to bring out into the world, or that you're shy about or scared of,
Triggers.
or triggers, yeah.
Anything that you don't like about yourself. Maybe you don't like the way you react to certain things. Maybe you don't like the way you feel about certain situations, but you've never really dug into why that is.
Yeah.
So this gives you a moment to kind of just sit there with yourself and really peel back the layers.
Yeah.
Until you get to the root of why do I feel that way? Why does this situation trigger me? Why am I judgmental? Why am I ashamed of behaving this way? Whatever it might be that's not so pretty about yourself, you can really get to the base of it and be able to release it, make peace with it, change the way you are. Sometimes it's blocking you from moving forward. Maybe it's, I don't know. Just
Yeah, no, and it gives you an opportunity to forgive yourself, to forgive other people, because, I had to do a lot of work around the shadow, and what were my personal defects? Like, what was my part in the quote unquote problem? I was playing, so before, I kind of went through this whole spiritual situation, I was just playing the victim all the time. It was that thing outside of me, that person, that place, that thing was causing me pain and suffering. In reality, when I started to really dig into it, like, I had actual full power and control over the situation. Like, I could change the way I was acting. And once I started to do that, then everything started to fall into place with all of my relationships,
it really does
all those things,
just
yeah.
open a path for you to move forward and become what you want to become and achieve what you want to achieve, because it will hold you back.
Right. And I mean, we're human beings. We're here to have a human experience. I mean, that's the reality that we live in. I don't know. I mean, I believe we were just gifted this opportunity to reside in this earthly plane for a very limited amount of time, but we're also supposed to be experiencing what it's like to be here in a physical body as well. And that comes with emotions, suffering, pain. You know, some of that is part of the process. And going through those phoenix rising moments where you're just burning, the tower moment where, you know, you've wanted to do this thing forever, and then all of a sudden it all just collapses and falls apart, and then you're allowed to, you know, rise up from that situation and move on to something new. I mean, we're constantly going through birth, rebirth cycles, you know, throughout our life. And so if you can embrace the death process, right? Because, you know, not in the traditional sense of death, but the death process of like things dying and leaving your space and leaving your reality, you know, because we're really not attached to anything. Technically, like none of this will exist when we don't reside here, when our consciousness is no longer here, you know? Yeah. So it's when you're holding on tight to all of those things, you know, that's when I start to suffer, right? Like I want to control all of the things, you know? Yeah. So diving into some of these astrology transits has helped me to realize that there's certain times when, you know, I should be pushing, like I should be more in my masculine energy. I want to go get, I want to take action. I want to make a plan. I want to do. And then there's other times where I need to retract and I need to go back into my little cocoon and do some more work and do some more shadow work. So, you know, we posted that thing about the awakening, like the, you know, 1 through 7, like the phases of awakening. And, you know, I mean, I really reside simultaneously within all of those phases. I mean, I can go from suffering to enlightenment in a 24-hour period.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's cool, right?
I do the same.
Yeah.
It just bounces around. Or maybe, you know, you think you're in a good place and then something hits you from left field and all of a sudden we're back at number 3 or whatever number it might be.
Right. So the full moon is a lot about closure, deep feelings and emotions, and you can be extra sensitive during this time too. So really just taking it easy, like, you know, take the pressure off, like put the bat down. You know, sometimes I feel like I am my worst critic, right? I'm constantly,
Absolutely.
you know, judging myself against myself all the time. And sometimes I just need to be like, okay, enough is enough. Like, let's just be good with whatever. And then getting back to basics, like taking a walk outside in nature and, you know, diving into that Taurus energy, walking around barefoot on the ground, laying down literally in the ground, you know, like, yes. And just absorbing Gaia and absorbing that grounding energy. It's so healing. And we're just so lucky that the weather is changing and everything.
Oh,
yeah.
Couldn't have come at a better time.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we could talk about the rest next week for the astrology because we'll be back on the 4th.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so next Thursday is the 4th is our next episode.
Sign up early for the full moon event.
Yeah.
It's limited space, so
yeah.
If you want to check it out, you'll be out in time for margaritas. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. You might not want margaritas after you go,
you won't.
You know?
No. Water.
Yeah, exactly.
Drink a lot of water during this time, too.
Yeah.
If you're feeling drained, if you're feeling tired, this is very important. The water, the earth, like Chelan mentioned, it's all vital right now.
Yeah, definitely. So do you want to pull a card first, or do you want to talk about the book since we're talking about astrology?
Yeah, let's do the astrology while we're on astrology.
All right.
And then we'll...
Yeah, so this is the book I'm going to highlight today. So this is called Erotic Astrology. I actually got this at the Magical Muse, Canastota, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a great place to get some really nice stuff.
Take a ride out there.
Yeah, so she's got a great collection of books. So I picked this little guy up, and so it's really cool. Like I said, if you know what your Mars and your Venus is, and you know what your Sun and Moon is, and if you're in a partnership with someone, you know, you can use this book to look up your sign, look up your partner's sign, and then just have a conversation, like have an open conversation about maybe some of the things that, you know, can bring more love, bring more spice into your life. You know, maybe you don't realize like what your partner actually needs from you, you know, so I don't know about you, but like it's just natural for you to approach your partner the way you would want to be approached, right?
I would say so.
Right. That's your natural like way, right? If I want affection, I'm going to go try to get affection, you know, in the way that I would want someone to do it to me. But in reality, that's not how someone else wants you to do it.
Yeah.
You know? So if you just take awareness and you're like, oh, maybe somebody needs a little bit more, intellectual. So my Venus is in Gemini. So I want mental, intellectual stimulation. Like I want to be talked to. I want to have a conversation about something cool. I need that like stimulant before I can get sexy.
Yep. That's when Phil comes to the full moon events.
Yeah, Phil comes to the full moon events. Yeah, he does. So that's really fun. So anyway, I'm going to just so the sun, so you'll need your sun, your Mars. So my Mars is in Leo, which is a fire sign. And my sun is in a fire sign. So lots of fire, and I'm very watery too.
Yeah. I don't
Wait, let's read one of
any
yours,
water.
Deana. Let's read one.
Mine?
Yeah,
Okay,
so let's do your...
my sun and moon are in Sag.
Oh, sun
My
and
Venus
moon in
is
Sag.
in Capricorn, and Mars is in Virgo.
Okay.
And if you guys don't know these, you can download the app, The Pattern, and you need your date of, or your birth time, as well as all the other stuff, and then that'll give you all of your planetary placements in your chart.
All right. So sun in Sag. Should we read what your turn-ons and turn-offs are?
Sure.
All right. So you relish in the thrill of the chase. Once a relationship starts settling down, the archer strives to keep things exciting. Yeah, okay. Above all, you want to have a good time with your beloved.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fun in bed. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to have everything in bed. But no, so this is a really fun book, to read and check out. And so, it will help you to identify what your sexual strengths are, what your insecurities are, what kind of level of energy you bring to the table, things like that. Also, what is cool is your Venus return. So when you know what your sign is, so if you know what sign your Venus is in, you'll know when Venus is coming around to hit and conjunct your Venus in your natal chart. So when that happens, and the conjunction occurs, they call it the beauty return. When you can come and do more things for yourself.
So where do I look that up?
What your Venus is?
See when, I know what my Venus is, but I don't know when it's going to be conjunct.
Yeah, so you have to find out. So right now Venus is in Gemini, so I just had my conjunction.
Yeah.
So if you know that Venus, what the sign the planet is in, and you know what your planet sign is, you can just figure it out.
I got a while then.
It's a little bit challenging. Don't get me wrong. I've got my little, charts, and I'm always pulling out notes, and I have all of my degrees listed. So when I'm listening to a podcast, I'm running over to my list and looking and seeing okay, or I'm looking at Phil's list, I got ours side by side, I got his little chart and my little turn. I'm are we going to be in a good time tonight, or is this not going to work out tonight? What kind of energy are we feeling here, but it's kind of fun to do,
Yeah.
because you know where your partner's coming from too. So you're not always just addressing it from your perspective, which is so limited.
Right. No, it definitely helps if you know your partner's chart, or maybe your kid's chart, or a friend. That way you can kind of see what might be going on for them. Maybe they're having a bad day, then you think it's you, but it's really whatever's going on in their astrology.
Yeah.
So it just helps to navigate relationships a little bit better.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you brought us something to drink, right?
I did.
What'd you bring us?
I was at Peter's yesterday getting my arnica tablets.
Okay.
And I found it's like a mushroom soda. So it's got reishi, chaga, and turkey tail. And this one's matcha vanilla. I get a root beer too, but Chelan already tried that one.
Yeah,
so
I
brought
had the root
this
beer.
one. And it only has 20 calories, which is why I bought it, because I don't need high calorie anything.
Yeah, so the root beer was really good. It was delicious. I'm always looking for non-alcoholic specialty drinks because, if you're hanging out, and I don't drink alcohol, so it's nice to have. Oh, it's green.
Well, it's got matcha in it.
Oh,
so I
yeah,
guess
that makes
that's
sense.
why.
Oh, yeah.
I tried the root beer before I came here. It was
Good thing
really
we didn't
good.
spill it. Oh, Z wants some.
You know you do.
So we're going to give this a try. Oh, it smells really good.
It does.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to
come through?
forage. Oh, you're going to get in here?
You're foraging?
I'm going to try foraging for some things this year. Like I have some property that I want to go out and look for, chaga and stuff like that and bring my own stuff
That's
in.
fun.
All right, cheers. Thanks, Z.
Cheers.
To episode 2. Here we go.
I like that.
It's good, right?
Tastes like a marshmallow.
Oh my God.
It's like a marshmallow.
It's good though.
That's delicious. All right.
Yeah, so
Reishi.
Peter's has a whole bunch of these different kinds. A cola, root beer, this one. I can't remember what else.
This one's good. This one's really good.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
reishi, known as the mushroom of immortality, used to enhance the immune system, reduce stress, improve sleep, and lessen fatigue. Chaga, which you can get
At Utica Hemp.
at Utica Hemp, yes, and is used extensively as an anti-inflammatory. And has been used for thousands of years to balance energy, improve digestion, and detoxify the body. Turkey tail, which we can find around here. I found some actually when I was with Mary Beth and we were taking our
you
nature
said
walk.
that.
Yeah, so you can find that around here, but be careful with mushrooms. I found one today that was poison. So I have like a little mushroom finder on my phone.
Oh, neat.
And you have to take a picture of the top, side, and the bottom because the bottom is actually what can tell you the most about a mushroom if you find it in the woods. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is delicious. I love that. Yeah. So what else did you get at Peter's?
Um,
You got some tea that you gave me.
keto cookie dough.
Keto cookie dough. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and I got tons of tea. That's right.
Yeah, you like the tea there.
Yeah, they have a lot of different teas. Because what I do is I'll boil a tea bag for my client, and then I'll put foot towels in the hot water. That
Yeah.
way, when I put the towels on their feet, they're getting this infusion of whatever one I pick for them. So it might be a detox tea. It might be lemon ginger. Whatever I'm feeling for them that day.
And you make special
Lavender
drinks
chamomile.
too, don't you? Like the water. You
Yes,
make
I do.
Yeah.
Different water, of course.
Different water. She does different types of massage oil, like depending on what you need. She'll use
Yeah.
different essential oils. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
I've got lots of essential oils, so I put blends together, and based on what the intake says, I pick the oils specifically for that. So I have a lot of fun with it. Gives me something to do with all the stuff that I bought.
And didn't you just buy some
Play with-
singing bowls too?
I did. I didn't get them yet.
Yeah.
I got the whole 7 chakra singing bowl set. So I'm excited to add that to my practice as well.
You should bring them in and we should play them on the podcast.
Yeah, that would
I'm
be
sure we can
fun.
use the green screen over here.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, let's do that. We could do like a virtual
Other
sound
little,
bath
yeah.
on
They're
disruption.
really great. You have to go to a sound bath if you haven't been to one.
Yeah. No, definitely the sound bath. So vibrational, frequency healing is just it's such an easy thing to do, right? So it's like so easy. You don't have to, when you think about meditation, as far as traditional meditation is concerned, I would say that I probably do about 0 to none of that. Sitting like cross-legged and in silence, like that's just not for me, But I
hard.
also use binaural beats, different types of hertz frequencies, and you can just use them on your iPad. I mean, you can Google them on Apple Music, and some of them are like 5 minutes. So if you want to adjust your frequency, or you need to say open up your throat chakra, for instance, there's a certain hertz that is associated with that can help you to open up that chakra. So it's literally popping your headphones in, laying down, sitting up in your car, whatever, 5 minutes, you can adjust how you're going to interact in a situation, you can't 100% guarantee you are, but at the same time, it just can center you, before heading into certain things,
Yeah. Music definitely helps me to recenter and pick me up if I'm down, wake me up if I'm tired.
Yeah.
I know I was looking into that a little bit, like the alpha, the beta, the delta, the theta. They all have a different purpose. So the alpha is more for like body repair. The beta is if you need like a boost, energizing. Delta, I can't remember right now.
But they go down.
Thetas is your sleep.
Yeah. Well, delta is the one before sleep.
Yeah.
So that's the place where manifestation, like that. I think that's the
yeah.
frequency.
I can't. My memory is shot. I need more go-to cola in my life.
Yeah. But it's like right before you fall asleep. So it's that like lucid dreaming state. So if
Yeah, I
you
think
are
you're right.
trying to manifest something, if you're in that state of mind, which you can get to through, you know, just getting ready to fall asleep, you're going to naturally go into that before you go into your sleep state. But you can also get there through listening through, you know, to like the stuff in your headphones or whatever. But if you think about, because it's that place between like, you know, reality and your dream reality, you know,
Like you're lucid.
it's like, yeah, it's like that in between stage. That's a great place for you to start manifesting. So one of the techniques that you can use is, I think it's like a 5 to 15 second like scenario that you play in your mind of the thing that you want to bring into your reality, into your 3D reality that you're experiencing right now. And it's more of a feeling like of what it would feel like if that thing occurred. So it's not even like the visceral intellectual like viewing of that, you know, scene. It's the feeling that you would get if that scene occurred. And it's usually joy, happy bliss, you know, contentment, enlightenment, whatever, you know, that feeling is. And if you can like tap into the feeling of us receiving that gift, that thing that you want, right? Then that's where the magic happens.
Is that how we ended up here? You
Yeah.
imagine what it would feel like sitting here talking?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. I mean, well, I think it was probably when I came on Z's
Yeah.
podcast and I tried it out and I was like, this could be fun, you know, and I've like really enjoyed just going and looking at what other people are doing, you know. I just really don't feel called to put anything out there like personally, you know, right now, like holding classes or, you know, I did the embodied event, you know, maybe something like that might come along in the future, but I'm interested in like collaborating with other people about like what are you doing and what kind of support do you need and how can I bring this thing to more people so that they're aware of it, you know, instead of, because there's so much going on and it's
Absolutely. And there's so much everyone has to offer and that we can benefit from. We don't know everything. I'm going to be a student for the rest of my life. I just know that. That's sad right there too.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, it's nice to be on both ends of it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I know, I'm sure when the planets shift, you'll be scheming
Back at
something,
it. Oh, yeah,
planning something. So
Yeah. I think it's like summertime.
She's not done. I know that.
Yeah, I know.
Just not now.
Not now. Yeah.
All right. Enjoy the downtime.
I know, that's the
because
thing we don't do
We
enough
are
of.
always just too much.
Yeah. Like celebrating your successes and looking around at your life. I mean, the universe responds to you when you're grateful for the things that has already given you, you know? So I feel like if I reside in gratitude, you know, it's a way for me to just be in the present moment too. Like I don't have to constantly be striving or going and trying to get something. I think I wrote that in the chat.
Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy all the hard work that you put in and what came from it. Don't just cast it aside and say, what's next?
Right.
Like, revel in what you did and appreciate it and embrace it. And I don't do it either. It's like, all right, on to that. I leave here. What am I doing next? What am I doing? It just never ends. And now it's to the point where, okay, I'm having surgery tomorrow for the second time because I don't listen and I don't stay put. So that's the universe saying, guess what? You didn't listen and now you're down. So
Yeah.
that's the way it goes.
And you also had your surgery on Mercury
I
retrograde.
had my surgery on Mercury retrograde, and they did the wrong one. So again,
So back at it again.
It's because I was doing too much.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to get a little break. Yeah.
I'm gonna try
Yeah.
my hardest.
I mean, it is hard.
Just overcommitting, overpromising. It's just a
Yeah.
lot. And I just need to stop and take it all in and be proud of everything that I'm already doing. So
Yeah.
that's what you're doing now too.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to enjoy the summer. And like I said, you know,
No, it doesn't last long. So
Yeah.
definitely appreciate your yard, your pool,
yeah.
that you have these woods to go and connect with and get all of this enlightenment from and
Yeah.
find your mushrooms. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah,
enjoy
find some
it.
stuff. I want to learn how to forage though, you know, and then I think I'm going to plant a garden. Like that's kind of like the new thing well, not the new thing. I'm always planting. So I always have some sort of garden, but I think I'm going to expand, what I do this year and do maybe some edible flowers and maybe specifically like what we can smudge. Like, if I can come up with my own smudge sticks,
definitely smudge.
Yeah, like if I do sage, I can dry it out. I have a dehydrator, so I'd really like to just make some of my own homemade smudge sticks. I did lavender last year, and I think I did lavender. I think I did a thyme. Yeah, because I had some extra.
Nice.
So I just cut it and bundled it myself and, saved it, and I've been using it. So it's nice to do because it's like it shows the whole duration of like the life cycle. If you appreciate the fact that you planted it with the seed and now it's growing and then it gets to the end of the year and you're harvesting. So it's part of like really connecting with the cycles of nature and with Earth, And I mean, as much as we hate New York winters here and we're like, oh, Utica winters, I mean, there's something so divine about being in a place that has the 4 seasons because it just helps you be more cyclical with your eating, with your, how you're resting, the types of activities that you're doing. And if you can just try to embrace that, it just helps you to be more grounded and healthy, I think.
Definitely not like Groundhog Day here. We could get snow tomorrow.
I know.
So
it was
some
crazy.
Places it's the same weather every single day.
Yeah.
So
not that I don't want to be by a beach like half the year.
Definitely. All the year.
So are you going to Costa Rica again?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm signed up for November, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I do want to take the kids there at some point too. So.
Yeah. No, we're planning a trip too. We're going to try to go February.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely being called to, try out some of these more exotic places to travel and, see.
It is. It's so nice to not be caught up in the touristy, do 100 things.
Yeah.
You need a vacation when you get back from your vacation. I just got back from Myrtle Beach, and that's the way I felt. I was drained for days after I came back. And I worked the whole time I was down there, and it was a lot. And it was busy and just so many things to do that it really wasn't like a vacation. So going somewhere like Costa Rica or Guatemala.
I just want to like lay on the beach every day. I just want to be like all breezy. I want Phil to be like tan all the time with like sandy feet and like just, pair of like surfer shorts,
All right.
And he can make me some eggs in the morning and we can talk about erotic astrology and stuff. It'd be awesome,
And
right?
the boys will be where?
Boys will be wherever they want to be. I don't know. Probably in upstate New York. Yeah. Well, I know. I got to get rid of the kids. They got to move on.
That's funny.
Okay, so you brought something to smudge, though, right? What did you bring?
I got this on the boardwalk in Myrtle Beach. There was a cool like Rasta metaphysical store, and I liked this one because it's called Nag Champa sage. So it's another sage, but this one is blue. And what this does is it connects you to your throat chakra. And since we're on here talking, I figured this was a good one for the show.
Yeah.
It's beneficial for empowering yourself by speaking your truth. So yeah, this is a great one. This would be one that you would do before, if you're going to go on camera, before a meeting, before any type of conversation you might need to have with somebody. If you're a singer, maybe you want to smudge yourself in this. It just helps to open and activate your throat. Helps you put your thoughts, your ideas to words, self-expression.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, if you don't know a lot about sage, we usually will smudge a space before an event. Your fire things aren't going to go off.
I hope not.
Well, Mercury's in retrograde, see, I keep telling you.
Yeah, we don't want any fire. All right.
I don't know where they are.
Oh my gosh, this smells really good.
It does smell good.
That later. It smells really good. Yeah, so you can use this for all sorts of things.
Before a full moon, even before a full moon, any type of ritual you might do, you want to go around, smudge your space, smudge your crystals, smudge yourself. I smudge before and after every client. That way, nobody's old energy is being mixed with somebody's new energy that's coming in. I want everybody to have a nice, clear space.
Right,
there
and you can
go.
do your
Clear
cards. Clear the cards. So you can clear your cards a couple ways. You can use this. You can actually use a pendulum too. So like if you make it go like circular, right? And then if it goes back, once it goes back and forth, it's cleared, right? So yeah, people are poking around my house and you know, touching my cards and stuff. I gotta fix them. Oh, here, I'll hold that while you pull a card if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like his throat chakra needs some clearing.
But if you are like, you know, sensitive to smoke, there's other things you can do to clear. You can use spray. You can use.
You can diffuse oils. You can use like singing bowls or little chimes. You can do it with sound. All right. So this deck is called Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. So it's an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck, so the cards aren't numbered. They're all just different sacred geometry photos. There'll be a little blurb on there, and then there's a book that comes along with it to kind of give a more descriptive look at.
Okay, there's some crazy shit going on outside.
Doing something.
Maybe we should try to want me to go out there.
You're so funny.
Yeah.
So anyways, it'll explain why they put certain shapes, colors on the card, and then it'll give you a little something to do to kind of work with the energy of the card. And I first saw these cards on Karen Rentowski's Patreon podcast.
She's going to be here next week.
Who's coming on next week.
Yeah.
So you're going to love her if you haven't seen her perform or stand up at the Uptown or Fat Cats or most recently the Polish Community Center. She's great.
Yeah, she's great. So I've had a tarot reading with her. Dina's had a couple.
I've had two.
She does. I'm on her Patreon now.
Yes,
so she does like a card of the day. So she'll record like a little something. She's got training she'll talk about. That'll be really great.
She does a Utica show like once a month. What's going on in Utica. She'll talk about old Utica, paranormal, mob stories, all kinds of things.
Yes.
Underground Railroad that went on here. It's really interesting. So you'll be able to get more info if you want to listen in on those and get a little old Utica history and maybe some new Utica stuff too.
Yeah, she's hilarious. So she was in LA and then she moved back here. So, you know, she's always like ripping on Utica, but in a good way, you know, in an honest way. Let's just be honest, you know.
All right. So I'm just going to pull this card here. And this one is number 43, Transition.
Oh, that's my age, 43.
Me too.
Oh my God, look at that. 43.
Thanks to Renovation. Okay, so this says the frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence in our lives so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. I'll tell you, these cards always know which ones to come out because, this is what we're talking about. And it being in the sign of Scorpio, I don't know if we mentioned that, but that's your transformation sign as well. That's when you shed your skin, rise from the ashes like the phoenix, and start something new. So this is a great card.
That's a great card. That's like absolutely perfect for, look at the picture on there. So like if you can hold this up a little bit, maybe we can see it. It's almost
really
like,
cool.
You know, like this is like the tip of the snake, right? But it's like the moon.
Yeah.
Like one of the eclipses, right? And it's like going up through until it gets to the other eclipse, or if that's like, you know, it's like the portal. It looks literally like a portal. That is gorgeous. I love it.
And then, you know, like, whatever they called, where you can stare at it and it starts to move. I can't remember what they're called. We did them in school 100 years ago. But if you stare at them, they will start to kind of move. So this is a really cool deck. So what does it say? You don't have to read the whole description of it, but at the end there, it's
just try this.
Try this.
It says, how do you flow with transition in your life? What transitions are you afraid of? That's like shadow work right there. You know, if you can start to dive into what is like the, you know, so, I mean, this is kind of dark, but I'll just be honest. You know, sometimes I'll go to like the worst possible scenario. You know, like what if, so I'm worrying about some in-between outcome, right? Not the best outcome, but not the worst outcome. And I'm kind of, you know, residing in that in-between space of like what could happen or what can I do to kind of control the situation. But sometimes like with those really reoccurring things that I worry about, I have to go to the absolute worst possible scenario. And I've had to sit with like emotions of like that thing happening, you know? But then once you go through it, it's almost like your body like metabolizes the energy or something. And then you don't have to experience that, or you don't have to worry about that, like, you know, terrible outcome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to doing the shadow work. And after the full moon event,
Oh my
the
gosh, this is
meditation will
hilarious.
be out there on Spotify if anybody does want to try it.
The meditation?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't done it because I didn't want to spoil it for, felt like I wanted to kind of wait because the shadow work,
Then I'm going to unpublish it.
Okay, unpublish it, yeah. But this is what it says. It says, go outside and see how nature goes through a constant cycle of death and rebirth in order to continue life.
Wow.
I mean, that's literally what we were just talking about. You know, you're seeing that right now with like, you know, all the dead and decaying stuff that's around, you know, and it's getting back into the soil and then it's going back up into the trees and they're all blossoming. I mean, it's just such a beautiful time in New York. You know, when we go from that gray color to that beautiful like green.
It's in like a day. I walked outside today and my landscaping had leaves, green leaves on it. And I was like, that was fast. When did this happen?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's something to look forward to. So I'm excited.
I love these cards. Yeah, these are gorgeous.
I got these on Amazon. So, yeah, there's so many decks. I mean, they sell them at most stores, but I don't know. Throat chakra.
On the bottom.
That's great.
Throat chakra. The frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I love it.
'Cause if you're expressing yourself, you will be at more peace. If you hold something in, you're going to be wrestling with that and fighting with that and struggling until you're allowed to express yourself.
Yeah.
So,
So, I mean, it's kind of like what cards call to you, too. I mean, Alabaster and Ash has a ton of different cards up there that you can pick from. She probably has this deck. I wouldn't even be surprised.
I have Disney villains that I got for my daughter there.
Yeah,
but
nice.
It's really for adults.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. So
And she has these smudging sticks too. She's got all sorts of smudging sticks, and they're all with little labels on there that will tell you, you know, what to use it for or what it, you know, what it would be good for. And yeah, so I mean, if you haven't been up there, you really need to get up there and check it out, especially with the weather changing. It's such a beautiful place. They're having the Freya Fest up there too, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. That's in August.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to make sure we can get to that. But maybe that should be one of our first field trips is to go up there. And we'll see when
one of her classes are happening. I think she has yoga every week on Tuesday nights.
The Red Room readings, which are with the psychic.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll have sound journeys up there. And then you're going to go to that cacao journey.
Yeah.
At Move, Breathe, Live. That's May 7th. So, next week's a lot of good stuff happening next week.
Yeah.
Cacao journeys are wonderful. I've only done them by myself, and then we did the one on the live. But
yeah, I mean, we drink cacao regularly, but she's gone through a lot of training,
Juliana
right?
has done a lot of training before she put this class out, so I am hoping I can make it, but my daughter has a dance competition that weekend, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go
I
yet.
wouldn't be surprised if that sells out. So if you haven't gotten your tickets for that, I probably would right away because there hasn't really been a lot of cacao ceremonies.
No. Not
going on. Yeah. So, and I mean, given the amount of training that she's had, it's going to be nice.
Yeah, I think it'll be one of the better ones. I know Mon did one a couple of years ago, but I really haven't seen many since then.
Yeah. And there's some other things happening at Roots too, besides your event, right?
Oh, yes. So they've got Jasmine is doing, the whole chakra.
Is she doing another meditation? Like class, we'll have to. It's probably not next week. Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out, and we'll tell them next week. And just check out online too. I mean, we're constantly posting on our page. If you want to come on, if you're, you have something to offer, and you want to highlight some sort of event, reach out to us, direct message us. We really want to hear from you guys about like what are you experiencing? What are some things that have been working for you? And then we can kind of pass that along to the group too. We can go there. We can show people what it's like all about. You know, we have some guests lined up for the next couple podcasts, but if, you're interested in coming on and you want to, highlight something that you're
have
doing.
Us show up wherever you are that you have happening or you're going to, definitely let us know. Yeah, so I think Jasmine's doing the root this time.
Okay.
Grounding. And then Shaylene's doing a couple things. She's doing New Moon Yin next month.
New Moon Yin. I definitely want to go to that.
Yeah, so that should be really good. And then she's doing like a Be Your Own Oracle workshop in June. So again, that'll teach you more about working with the decks and how to do some readings. So that should be really good. I know she's a tarot reader too, so
Cool.
got a lot of experience there.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, there's going to be another breathwork class at some point, so that'll be good.
Yeah, the breathwork class like actually kind of caught me off guard. I actually didn't expect to have the experience that I had when I went there because I do quite a bit of breath work on my own. You know, it's so because it's so associated with Kundalini yoga and using the breath as a powerful tool to, you know, adjust your energy, to move the energy through your body, to just stimulate, you know, certain things or to calm the mind. But anyways, in this one, I mean, she was just amazing. It was such a simple breath too. It was like a 3-part breathing, and she just had us lay down and she journeyed us with music. And
I think the music really kind of helped.
It enhanced it.
Move the practice right along too.
Yeah. It was beautiful. And I started crying. You know, I mean, I felt like this, it wasn't really like sadness. I think it started as sadness, but as, you know, I was kind of purging, it changed to like bliss and like just happiness and just like this full release. I don't really know what I was releasing exactly. Like I went home and I had to really process the experience because it was a little surprising.
Yeah.
For me to actually like cry, but it felt so safe to do it. Like I felt like I felt it coming on. Instead of holding back the tears, I just let the tears come, and it felt so good to do. And it was unexpected. Yeah. And it wasn't like I was crying over something. It was just crying. It was just, you know, whatever was there.
Happens.
Yeah.
There's so many different forms of purging. You could have excessive yawning, you could burp, throw up, go to the bathroom. I mean, there's just so many ways that you purge, just tears pouring out of your face for no reason at all. It's all good, though.
We don't let ourselves do that enough, you know?
No, and in these classes, they tell you this is a safe space. You do what you need to do. And that's exactly what you did, which is good because some people might feel a little self-conscious or don't want to disrupt somebody else. So it's good when somebody can kind of take the lead. And that might very well happen during the shadow meditation, too, is that I expect that people are going to be processing and that they're going to feel safe to do that however they need to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Sally was great. She came over. She's a master Reiki too. So we should post her information on our page just in case. She works with people one-on-one if you're interested. So if you do have trauma to clear, you know, sometimes you need someone to assist you, to guide you, to coach you, to give you support during that transition. So, you know, she offers that one-on-one with the breath work, and then she also is a Reiki master too. So she came over when she saw that I was purging, and that, you know, she said ahead of time, like, if you don't mind, I'll put hands-on healing, you know, during the practice. And she did, and she came over and she used like essential oils. So I could tell that she had put lavender on her hands, and she put them over my face. And as I instantly inhaled the lavender, it was like a complete calm came over my body. And, you know, she placed her hand like on my shoulder, and she placed her hand, and then all of the energy just went to my hands. Like they just felt like they were just like vibrating, like all of the energy just moved right into my hands. It was like a really magical experience. Yeah. And it was great to experience it with some of the women that were in the room, because that's what we're trying to cultivate here, is just expanding this community and being like, you know what, I'm not trying to compete with anybody. This is like a full-blown, like, you know, community type of thing where we want to just really just enhance and elaborate on what's going on in the area. So, you know, if you're, you know, interested in
the
those
energy
things,
and the power is just compounded. The more of us that are there together, it's not, like you said, it's not a competition.
Yeah, and over time, you know, we'll probably get more into some of our own personal experiences and stuff. And I want to be like as authentic as possible. But for me, you know, this experience for me personally has been like a really internal process about like how much of myself do I want to put out there and how much of myself do I want to maintain as private, you know, for me. And so it's like now I'm on this like public facing platform, and it's like, you know, what do I want to share? What don't I want to share? But the truth of it is that like sugarcoating any of it isn't really going to be effective. You know, I need to be, you know, it's better just to say like what's happened and how you got through it, because
if you don't do it, somebody else is.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know, the people we listen to, so they don't sugarcoat anything.
No.
Which is probably why they were so effective and had that effect on us.
Yeah, totally.
And helped with the awakenings.
Right.
Is that they could be authentic.
Yeah. So do we cover everything? I think we're coming up on an hour. Did we have anything else we needed to talk about?
7:57.
We got a comment out there from Jasmine. She said
Oh.
you two rock. Love the info that's getting out into the community.
Jasmine was at the
yeah.
breathwork class.
Yep.
It was funny too, because when Chelan, as soon as I heard her start crying, I started crying.
We had such a beautiful moment after where we hugged, and I just
know.
like felt so like much love for you. Like it was
know.
like this beautiful moment where I was just like, I love her. It was like we've had similar experiences too at different sound baths when we were like processing like different types of, plant medicine and things like that. But it was like, so I mean, we're obviously like karmically. Or maybe it's more dharma, I think we're cosmically aligned here. So, but anyway, it was really beautiful. And Jasmine was there. And, it's cool because like, hey, I'm 43 years old. I've kind of done some things, and so, but there's younger generation of women coming up that, she's a new mom. Her baby's like 1, and it's like sweet. And, she's already super empowered. And I love watching some of these younger
By the time you're 43,
women.
Jasmine, you're going to be,
Right? It doesn't matter, but there's a whole bunch of people in this community that are really rising up and starting to show, how.
I love it. Everybody has something to learn from everyone. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. I even learn things from my 6-year-old sometimes.
Yeah.
Tells me she's magic. So.
Okay, well, direct message us if you have any questions, comments, or if you have, anything at all that you want to say.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll keep putting the chats out there, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah. Same
Oh,
time.
yep. Alabaster and Ash.
Magic Mountain Minerals and Renovation Aesthetics and Wellness. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
believing
thank you
in
so
us
much.
and letting us talk about your great products, services. Can't wait to do more business with you.
Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you.
Next week.
What's that?
Yes, Thursday at 7, May
Yep.
4th.
May 4th.
With
May the
Karen
4th be with
Rontowski.
you. With Karen. Oh my
With
God. This is
Karen.
going to be a riot. I cannot wait.
Paranormal Karen.
Yeah, Paranormal Karen.
She's
Maybe she'll probably
hysterical.
do some shit in here, see what kind of entities we got going on.
Some shit.
Yeah, I bet. I can't wait. That's going to be an awesome episode. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks.
Thanks.